Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome back to my work in progress Brotherhood kind of Rebels settlement here at Zimonja Outpost. If you guys have been around my channel for a while, you'll know that in the main quest I went with the Minutemen and the Railroad, which means that I had to take out the Pridwin as well as the Brotherhood. I've done one Brotherhood settlement since completing the main quest. That was at Vault 88. You guys remember how that ended. Since then, I've been trying to figure out how the Brotherhood would fit into my own personal lore, seeing the Railroad and the Minutemen definitely have a lockdown on the Commonwealth, and this, again, work in progress settlement is what I'm coming up with. Again, these are Brotherhood rebels. These would have been a splinter faction that were all too eager to split away from Maxon and his crew when the Minutemen took them out. They're not interested in revenge, they're interested in the original Brotherhood ideals. Anyway, I've been working a bit on the settlement, tearing down some of the scrappier bits, and working on implementing some of these Brotherhood walls as if this were an outpost that they would have controlled before the events of the main quest. While still adding in some scrappy elements like the wooden ramp here, I'm still just playing with ideas for what I'm going to have here. But as you guys saw from the title of this video and the thumbnail, today we're going to focus on a particular set piece. And that's going to be this crashed Vertibird, which I imagine would have escaped the destruction of the Pridwin with this crew that was, again, not interested in dying for Maxon and his ideals, and it would have just barely made it back to this outpost here where they knew they had some other Brotherhood soldiers stationed. We're going to detail this today and make it really look like the organization of survivors here are working on repairing it, perhaps to get back to the DC wasteland and the main body of the Brotherhood. Let me show you guys what I've got so far. I used some of the farm plots from Homemaker, the Homemaker mod, to have kind of a impact spot in the terrain. Although it looks like this one needs to go up in the air a bit. There we go. I imagine that perhaps this captain of this airship, this Vertibird, took some damage and tried to fold the wings up to protect them as he was coming in for a landing, and so it just kind of hit the ground hard, missed this high ground, and slid down into this group of trees. So I've got these, again, dirt plots from the Homemaker mod to kind of sell that impact feeling, even though I'm not quite sure how long ago this would have been. At least a year, I'd say, that they've been working on it. And then I have these platforms here where I'm going to have workshops and engineering facilities for the Brotherhood to be working on repairing this thing. Let's go on into workshop mode and really make this look super convincing and make it an awesome part of the settlement. First things first, let's turn off the workshop timeout because we're right on the border here, but thanks to place everywhere, we can turn off that timeout and kind of scoot outside of the border as we work. Let's fix the texture on that farm plot. I've got this forklift here that they've jury-rigged as a way to support this tilting Vertibird to keep it from falling over. But I was also thinking that adding a few wooden planks would be a really cool way of selling the idea that this thing is not super stable and that the Brotherhood's having a hard time keeping it from falling over until they can restore it to its own power. Let's see, is that... Oh, that's not big enough, wow. I'll just stick it under this spot right here then. Going to use that place everywhere mod to get a couple of these extra timbers. Help sell that we're repairing this thing and hoping it doesn't fall over look, if you will. Okay, make sure that one's not clipping in. I'll add one more short one, I think. That one's busted. There we go. So that is the first step. of our Vertibird crash site. Well, I guess it's not the first step, seeing I was already building here, but you guys know what I mean. I also want to have some temporary style fortifications around the dig site where it's like not quite part of the main camp over here, but the Brotherhood are working on keeping it protected, you know, during the night, for example. Let's go ahead and go to structures and miscellaneous, where I've got some tarps, which would make some great overhangs for the work area. Really make it look like it's temporary. I'm gonna use these ones with the poles. I think they'll snap together. Let's see. They do. Look at that. Awesome. Just put that one away for now. I'll leave actually that side without a cover. But I will hook one into the side here. It's kind of an overhang. Do I want one on the other side, is the question. So I imagine they're working on the electronics, the engines, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, maybe some cover on this side as well. Somebody installed this tarp as close as they could. Oop. Gonna try and rotate it. There we go. So it's not clipping through the tree. Okay, cool. Actually, is that too much space? Because there's kind of a gap here. I wonder if I add one of these on top. Nah, that doesn't look good. We'll just leave a gap there for now. I'm thinking that there's going to be some workbenches, some supplies that were rescued from on board, and also some supplies that they're bringing back to work on it with. So let's look at our, not resources, actually resources, miscellaneous. A scavenging station. Imagine there might be another one of those over here. You guys can see why I had built these platforms, because this terrain is so very, very hilly. Yeah, let's actually add a, well here, I'll show you guys the new mod that I'm going to be using, because I might use a piece of it here. I got the sandbag fortifications mod finally, because I feel like these would be some great additions that the Brotherhood could have built at this location. Stuff like the watchtowers, which you might see those in some Minutemen builds soon. Those are awesome. But possibly some kind of platform, maybe. Or netting. Camouflage net. Oh yeah, and here's some graves from those who didn't survive on the hill here that I'm just walking over without paying attention. How expensive was that? Okay, not terrible. 12 cloth and 12 wood. I can do that. I was just trying to think if there would be some work areas over here too, and not just on this platform. Defense Defensive bunker. Oh yeah, definitely. Defensive position. High sandbag wall. This is an awesome mod. We're going to use a bunch of this stuff to really sell that military feel here at this location. And I'm going to put, I think, a sandbag bunker right here. I am going to have to put some kind of floor under there. Let's see. Let's actually use barn wood, barn floors. And I'll add some support pillars onto that. And then a few pieces of barn wood here as well. Tilt that one a bit. Make it look like they've got a really intensive rebuilding operation going on here. This is going to add a lot of character to the settlement, I think. That looks cool, yeah. This is actually starting to look more and more like a historical dig. Oh, that's an actual defensive position that they're going to use. That's cool. I don't think I've given these guys unique guns yet. They're just using whatever they showed up with, these settlers. Yeah. It's got a shotgun, I think. That'll come later on. Let's add some wooden posts to this base here. Oh, technically outside of the build area. Thank you, Place Everywhere, for helping me get around that limitation. Okay, cool. And I think a little staircase to get up in there would be a good addition. We'll just use the wooden one. And we'll scoot to the left. Cool. They'd probably have a turret on top. Let me go into free cam for a second. Oh, look at that. Nice wooden base. Okay, so we're going to put a rocket turret up there. Defense. Turrets. I'm going to use the one that requires the power line from the base game. Surface snap on. It's not snapping though. Okay, we'll come back to that. Power connector, power pylon. I feel like these almost industrial pylons that came with the base game are a good look for a Brotherhood settlement. That Brahmin just leapt straight up into the air. Did you guys see that? Alrighty. I think I've broken some of the pathfinding in this settlement already. Let's go ahead and hook that rocket turret up. That power pole is very low. There we go. Starting to have that military look. That's cool. I don't think we're gonna have any like weapon storage and stuff out here just because it is out in the open outside of the main body of the camp. So only whatever the guards are carrying with them. Now, Need to get some stairs over here too. And maybe one over here, yeah. Let's go back to where all this began. Where was I? I think resources before I went into all the bunker stuff. I wanted that second scavenging station. And there we have it. Anything else that would fit out here? Armor, workbench. Oh, these are just props, basically. I want to look under, let's see, settlement keywords extended, resources, Northland diggers, botanist, butcher, do-it-yourself ammo. Looking for any kind of workstations that would really fit. Metal splinters. It's a little too scrappy looking though, possibly, for the Brotherhood. These are well detailed and they look really cool, but nuclear fuel being worked on. Huh. Oh, so shiny thingies. I don't know, guys. Are these Northland Digger workstations a little too scrappy for the Brotherhood? Bring this canopy over this way some. Okay. Oh, that's right in the middle of the workbench. Butcher, tax collector, wasteland garage. So working on the motorcycle there. I think I'm gonna do some manual workbenches and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna get rid of that nuclear waste workbench, and I'm gonna build one myself, I think. First, though, it's time for a quick save. Let's see. One detail that I wanted to add over here to make this Frankenstein forklift look a bit more convincing was to give it a little tiny generator attached to it, cranking out smoke as if the Brotherhood were ready to use it to rotate the crashed Vertibird if they need to. Let's get a power conduit. Stick one right there. Gives a bit of animation and sound effects and some life to that side of the crashed Vertibird. A little bit of extra detail. Now let's see. Inside. Let's put in some work lights. I've got these really cool ones, the construction lights that actually cast shadows. Oop, hit the mouse. Sorry about that. Look straight up into the sky. Let's get one of them over here. I'm going to rotate it a bit and see how it looks. Get one of those conduits that we can swap on and off for that light. That'll cast some cool shadows in here. Like kind of want to do the same up on this side, but I've got to be careful because those lights do hit the frame rate pretty hard. So let's see. Let's do a switched pylon. Will it go all the way over here? I doubt that. Yep. These are connected though. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I think 3 of these lights I can deal with the frame rate drop. I was wondering, why won't that turn on? Oh yeah, I haven't turned it on yet. That's cool looking. It's like they're unearthing a dinosaur or something. I think under concrete and miscellaneous, I've got some of those, here we go, some of these railing pieces. If I haven't explained the scaffolding yet, I imagined it as built by the Brotherhood when they realized that it was going to take a long while to rebuild this thing. Give it a little bit of tilt on a couple of them. Adds character and immersion. Okay. So we've got a few workstations there. Looks like quite the operation. They're going to have to tear down a bunch of these nettings and wires when they're finally ready to fire this sucker up. I'm going to look under homemaker and furniture. Surfaces. Miscellaneous. This is what I was looking for, these greenhouse tables for our nuclear workbench. Then under counters and cabinets, we should have some workbench-like items we can set over here. I imagine that these would have been looted from nearby buildings and repurposed for the Vertibird reconstruction process. Put a small table over here. And a table over here. I don't think that diner counter actually fits very well. Institute table is way too clean. What's a good middle ground? There we go, this steel table. And this would all have to be stuff that they wouldn't worry about getting damaged or stolen in the case of an attack because it hasn't been moved back to the core part of the settlement. So I'm going to go to creative clutter here and see what we've got for light and power. What kind of nuclear stuff do we have? Tell you what, we're going to do this first. We're going to go to homemaker and we're going to find some of the larger set pieces first instead of just looking for nuclear stuff. So warehouse supplies, This is going to be our barrels and our various bits and bobs of storage material. I don't think I have any of the actual nuclear barrels that I can place and build here in workshop mode, which is unfortunate. It would be cool to use a munitions crate, but this would have been removed from the Vertibird and stored somewhere safer a long time ago. So instead I'm going to place a couple of these pallets. Like they're using them as walkways through the mud. Oop. Don't want to rotate the dirt. That looks pretty cool. Vault Tech supplies. Again, I feel like they would have looted everything out of the Vertibird that was worth removing for now. This might be maybe a box of small rare parts that they would have found and they've brought back to work on one of the electronic systems perhaps. I'm going to go through our interior decorations next. Anything in here? Some files, perhaps, for working on the nuclear parts. And maybe some blueprints that are taken back to the base at night, but they might show some of the engine systems and stuff like that, is what I'm imagining, at least. Diagnostic cart. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Gotta work on those engines. I'm gonna put one there, and there's a less broken one right here. Where could this go? Perhaps down here. Oh, I know. Let's do this. Let's have it like leaned up against this log right here. Someone dragged it down the hill and it's kind of stuck there for now. We're just trying to bring this scene to life. That's cool. You've got a box full of ammo and magazines as part of that defensive post. Put a radio there. Oxygen tank. Ooh, that could possibly be useful for the fuel mixture. The question is, are they at that point yet? It's possible, so I'll place it for now. Place down some towels. Trash can for dragging away debris. And perhaps a wooden basket for gathering parts back and forth. It's like a beached whale now is what I'm imagining. It's like a scene from Dishonored. All the mechanical devices surrounding it. Any more warehouse supplies? We got these cool wood boxes. Let's add a couple of those. That needs to be tilted a tiny bit. Oh, not that much. There we are. I'm going to put one more box down here. I really like those wooden planks. I want to put another one out here, I think. Now that we're through all the boxes. Put a crate on top of our wheel cart there. So we're almost done with the boxes then. Okay. We gotta go back to structures and wood to get those logs. Planks, I guess, technically. Oh, move something in the background there. All right. Let's see if we can get this propped up like so. Nice. Yeah, I like the look of those support boards. And while we're here, might as well place a couple of these ground planks down. These would definitely be useful working in all this mud. Let's place a plank down like this first, then a piece of plywood like so. Give it a bit of rotation. And for this one too. Just don't step on the edge, and you'll be good. Got some more floor planks down here, I think. So I'll sit still for a second so you guys can kind of see how this is coming together. Really starting to get that military, but now slightly scrappy survivalist look to it. Which is exactly what I am looking for. Have a big old plank to deal with that mud over here. Maybe one right there, and then one just below that one. Trying to look for where people might be like ducking under and walking, where a piece of plywood would really be useful. I think where the mud meets the rock would definitely be one of those places. Alright guys, time for another quick save because I really like the progress we're making here. Alright guys, there's an overlook of what I've got so far. I did get a save crash. I think I was outside of the border when I was trying to save, so I had to rebuild some of it. But I think to wrap things up for today, I'm going to add a few details to the workbench and then add some more defenses. And that'll be it for the Let's Build part of this, because as usual, I don't completely detail everything with you guys. I like to save some things for the final tour, and I think there might be one for this settlement as well, because I've got a number of changes, quite a few actually, for the main part of the settlement that, yeah, I think you guys would like to see in a final tour form. And of course, Joel hasn't seen any of this at all, and I like to make him suffer through the tours. The longer the better, the more bathrooms that he has to look at, the better as well. What was I doing? Oh yeah, OC decorator, chemistry and medical. Equipment tools. Okay, well I'm going to have to do some looting, it looks like. A lot of these tools are missing. Flasks and beakers and whatnot. I want to place a number of instruments and equipment on this workbench where the Brotherhood are working on probably the fuel, I would imagine. Let's see, chems and meds now, workshop, tools. Yeah, I'm actually low on a lot of these props. Looking for, yeah, blowtorch. I feel like we'd have one up here on the scaffolding as well. Those are my only two. Wow. Guys, I've placed a lot of props recently because my stash is empty. I've got 14 wrenches though. Okay. Well, I was going to do most of that micro detailing on my own anyway, but you guys can see where that's going. Let's see. Let's get those defenses going, and we'll call it for today. Seeing I had to do most of this twice with that crash. Oh wait, let's look at one last micro detail thing. Creative clutter, crafting and vendors, other armor workbench, chemistry station. These are the small props I was looking for. Actually right here. I'm glad I remembered this. Let's put it on the table here. And the armor workbench as well right next to it. I'll put these clean sheets down here on the lower shelf. Oh, with the beaker too, I guess, seeing it's stuck to it. That works. Gotta use that second shelf for something anyway. Okay. Do I want a light here? See, resources. Anything else from in here? Rooms. Outdoor. Garden clutter. Lounge chair. None of this really fits, I don't think. Workshop. Lots of guns and stuff, but drug plants basket. Fire extinguisher. Wall mounted medical storage. Sniper. Yeah, again, I don't see a whole lot of tools being left out here, guys, just because this is outside of the settlement. So I will just leave these workshop tools underneath there. And we'll do, I know exactly what kind of light I'm going to add. We're going to do a spotlight. The small ones that don't cast any shadows. No wireless power for it. That's interesting. I'll add a conduit and just stick it up here. Come on, clip through. There we go. And now we have light. I think that's too high up. Yeah, it loses quite a bit of light. So what I will do is... What will I do actually to get that light lower? Wonder if one of these pylons upside down would be a good look to attach the spotlight to. Show you guys what I mean here. Put that up like that. And attach the old spotlight to that. And hey, we have light so you can see the workbench. That kind of works. Okay, cool. It's even got the, you guys see like the sleeved cable on the piece of wood there? It's a nice little detail. I have to remember that the power pylon upside down makes a decent light hanger. Cool, cool. So, again, all that now leaves is just a few more defenses. So you got these short trenches. Turn snapping on. I think for this side, though, really and truly, it would be stuff like the barbed wire fences. Nothing super high tech, just enough to keep the workers safe during the daytime, I think, is all this would be. And give the turrets and whatnot time to blow them away. Barbed wire barricade, we'll tilt that a bit like this. These are really cool models. This guy did a great job with this mod. Gonna enjoy this for sure in the Minutemen settlements. So that's enough defenses for that part. For down here, gonna put this at a very tilted angle. Why is it spinning like crazy? Jeez. Okay. It's just toying with me now. There we go. Oh, that's a cool one. Just the little spikes. So I'll do a big one like this. Then a small one. Then a super big one. And that's enough to protect the workers during the day, I think. Along with one more bunker like this, perhaps. Let's see, where could I fit it in? Oh yeah, I can fit it over here. So that's got a bit of barbed wire. Let's add one more of these small ones. Right there. Oh, out of the workshop. Well, we've got overlapping fields of fire from these two bunkers, so that might be a decent place to call it, guys. Again, it's supposed to have that outside of the settlement feel where it's not totally surrounded by barbed wire and walls. But it's just an area where the Brotherhood scientists and engineers and workers can work on repairing the Vertibird, working on spare parts for it and stuff like that. And not total safety, but some protection. I'm glad you guys suggested this, because while I wasn't going to add a Vertibird to the settlement originally, because I thought it was a little too advanced for a Brotherhood kind of outcast survival settlement, the idea of a partially crashed one that's being repaired really fits in well with the theme. Fantastic idea. It adds a great area of interest off to the side of what was originally a very small settlement. That's going to be it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the ideas. Keep those suggestions coming, and I'll see you guys next time.